Hello.
Hello, we are, as far as I'm aware, live and kind of functioning. It says stream ending instead of starting, but you know what? Not the silliest goof I've made today.
I did just get a little pop-up saying that the thing. Wow, those are words. Saying that the thing.
Saying
I can speak for the
words is saying, and if we say the things with words, then boy oh boy,
words.
that's a word.
Sure fucking is. Oh my goodness.
Sure fucking
It's
is.
just an EBDB kind of.
Oh god, don't I know it? Yeah, sorry everyone. This was a. You know when you have insomnia for like a long time? And then you try to
Yeah.
sleep on a weekend and your body's like, oh, at last freedom, and and there you aren't there you aren't
You court death for a little bit.
just a little bit as a treat.
As a treat.
I deserve just the slightest hint of death because I do feel like death warmed over, and therefore I should get a little slice of the death. Otherwise, what am I even working for in
Yes.
this hellscape?
Yes.
Can't believe.
We deserve just a little bit of death. You know, our free trial that we try to get daily, but not always.
Yep. Boy, do we try. Oh my god, how I try all the time in this institution.
Yes. The institution is capitalism.
It sure is. Oh man.
Uh,
Oh great. Okay, it looks like the screen will be on the right existence when we dive in. Should we dive in?
yay.
We're late. Should we slap the fish and mosey? Those are words.
Why are we slapping fish? What did Aridin do? I mean,
What
what
didn't
didn't he do? But
Eridan
that's
do?
besides the What didn't Aridin do? Why are we slapping fish?
Uh, I feel like there's a song about that, but I forget it. I've forgotten everything. I'm losing it.
You're losing it. You had it to begin with?
Some may have alleged that I had it at certain points. I always thought they were quite silly, but
Allowed.
you only need to hear a lie 6 times for it
Allowed.
to sink in.
Yes. Oh my goodness. But yeah, are we diving in or are we doing mini warm up on stream because we didn't warm up today?
I I did literally just wake up. Um,
That's a solid point.
but I don't super want to warm up. It's gonna be a short session. I don't think I'm gonna blow my voice out. Um, so
Valid.
I'm leaning towards dive in, but if you warm up, I'll warm up. If 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 you know if you're also not feeling it, then let's go.
Oh, we can dive in. I do voice Matuna at least a little bit, but I did at least sing to
Singing's
myself
good.
before the thing, so
And I talked to my roommate, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm golden.
we're as warm as we're getting.
Yep. All that shit, Luke.
It's summertime. I don't want to get any warmer.
It's true.
All right, am I starting off uh as
Ah.
narrator or you want me to start? Because you're still
Um.
waking up.
Yeah. Let's have you start, and as it escalates into green, feel free to slap a fish, which is our emergency code for please take over narrator.
I'm slapping fish.
Slap the fish.
I'm a fish. You're a fish. We're fish.
It's great.
Glub glub
Club club.
glub glub glub. Sullux is insufferable. This is always true, but especially true now. You should probably be happy that he's happy, and you are, but he's obnoxiously happy. You think he's radioactive with it. sitting at the table with his tails moving behind him like he's the happiest puppy you've ever seen. Or hellhound? You've never seen one, so you don't know about them beyond theory.
I remember from our little class on demons, and just living with you, that you're quite hard to harm. In fact, the only time I've seen you injured at all was when you didn't realize that you were, and so you hadn't healed yourself. Though perhaps the same goes for if you didn't want to fix something, Rose says thoughtfully. Sorry.
Are you stealing my job?
Steal it. I'm coming for your job. Coming for your
You're coming from
wives.
the job. Sullix beams, and it makes you want to bite him. Again.
I also didn't know that angels could have claws, Karkat.
Rose adds. You look down at your hand and realize that you've forgotten to shuffle everything back to definitely human in appearance, and instead you have snow white claws where Sullix's are gold. He was fixing his feathers with them last night, Dave says innocently. You change back and shoot Sullix a look. You can see faint scratches all over his skin that absolutely don't need to still be there. They're definitely all his fault, too. You're sticking to that. Oh, hey. Dave starts and changes the topic. He knows exactly what happened last night because he called Sullix in a panic this morning, thinking that you'd gone missing. Sullix said he was relieved, but also said he didn't want spoilers about what it's like. Not that you entirely understand what that means. Dave goes on. You said you were going to give Karkat his phone back.
Right, I'd completely forgotten. Hold on.
Rose says, and puts her hand into her bag for a moment. She pulls out a phone and hands it to you. It's yours. You gave it to Zelix before, and he managed to get your passcode unlocked somehow. Let's not think about how nothing is safe from him, Dave explains.
Does that mean that the Apple products are demonically made if Solix could get into them? Or did he just hack it?
Jade wonders. She's not talking and eating at once, but you'd still prefer to not look at her food. I'm compelled to not answer that, Selleck says solemnly.
Wait, so they are?
Jade asks in surprise.
Or not answering is funnier, which is definitely true. It is funnier.
June grins. That's trolling there. You can message me with that. Other less interesting contacts are available, Selleck says happily and points to the screen.
I'm not even going to ask which one you are.
You say and click on the icon. The phone isn't wholly unfamiliar to you. You've seen people using them, and it's not exactly an outlandish concept to grasp. Everything seems pretty intuitive to you. Carcinogenesis, CG, began trolling Twin Armageddons, TA.
It's this one, obviously.
Ugh, that's... Why do you type like that? Selleck asks in shock. You bitch when people ask you that, Dave points out, only to look puzzled when Selleck turns the screen to show him.
Is this the only message I've ever sent you?
You ask in surprise. There's nothing when you scroll up. You come out and go into a conversation that you can guess is Dave from the color. How weird. He's right. You do type differently. Normally, you type in all capital letters by the looks of it, which looks pretty exhausting to read. It's like constant yelling. You can see history with Dave, but not with Sullix.
Can I guess the reason that you didn't have me added before?
Probably, but don't guess right now, thanks. This must mean this is Cancre's typing quirk, which feels fucked up, like I'm talking to him. You give that a little bit of consideration. It makes sense that the habit is ingrained in you from when you and Cancre were the same person. You're writing, so you're writing like he did. You could go through the effort to change it, but it feels like you'd be faking it. There are other ways to tell if it's you messaging Celix or Cankry doing it.
What did it look like? Carcat is always just capitals on mine. I didn't really think about it before.
Jade wonders. There were numbers in it, like Celix's. Nines, I think. Hey, let me. Dave turns to look at Celix, only to find that his familiar is strangely reluctant to hand over his phone. You can't imagine why. You've been very pleasant in your messages. Very flattering, at least. Promising, perhaps. I don't think it matters. This is fine. It's okay. They're just sixes and nines and. Oh, fuck. Celix flounders and looks at you. Yeah, he'd explained that particular joke last night because he's been very annoying by just existing this morning. You instantly type out a clarification, just in case he wasn't aware of the reference that he just made there accidentally. Celix blurts out a very believable excuse for you to both go, I have to we library, bye. It's just very normal and convincing. You're the worst. Celix hisses at you as you both appear outside the library.
I don't know what you mean. I was just trying to reassure you that it was me.
You tell him innocently. You're evil, that's what you are. He growls and pushes you towards the building. You'd like to have a smarter response to that, but you're giggling in delighted and slightly sinister glee. It kind of interferes with the talking part. Celix shoves you into the empty office and starts messaging someone else. I'm happy that you got the pitch thing right away. Like, Angry didn't fuck you up about it this time. I don't think I was ready for what you'd be like, Celix mutters.
You started it.
You tell him. Did not, Celix shoots back.
You?
You say, and point at him and all of the scratches and little marks on his skin that you can see around the t-shirt that he's wearing in midwinter.
We're showing off.
Maybe I'm just sentimental, huh? You're just hurting my feelings now. Oh, I'm the narrator.
Do you want to swap?
No, I'm good. Let me just get a
Okay.
drink of my beverage quick.
You're good. Forgetting that we're narrator, forgetting that we're not narrator, these are the hallmarks of live reads. And also
They
recordings.
really are. Yeah. Listen, the vibe is just us reading and our brains just turn off every once in a while. Like
For
mid
sure.
sentence, it's like, oh, where'd the brain go? Not here.
Not here. Someone took the cell.
Here. Someone took the brain cell and they're not sharing. It's Aradia. She has it.
I believe it.
Uh, I'm just gonna read that part again because I forgot that I was narrator.
All good.
Maybe I'm just sentimental, huh? You're just hurting my feelings now, Felix says in a tone that's way too overly offended.
Sure.
You say flatly. Whatever. I don't know what you're talking about with these entirely baseless accusations, Felix says and shoves his phone away and folds his arms. So baseless. Definitely. It's not like you're really annoyed about it. It's nice that he still wants to get at you, even in regular conversations. It's just a shame for him that you're clearly better at it. Huh. Anyway, Matona's gonna be here to make sure you don't do book crimes or whatever. I've got to go deal with sort of ruling hell type things, and I'm gonna hold you to those things you said. So dare. Selleck says the last part triumphantly.
Said?
You say, and Selleck opens his mouth like he thinks you're backing down from what you wrote.
Promised, more like.
I love them so much, Your Honor. Celix makes a fraction of a sound as he disappears. Like he meant to teleport someone and then yell, but didn't quite get the timing of that right. You're definitely winning at this. You are almost certainly insufferably pleased about this. Matuna shows up about 5 minutes later, takes one look at you, and starts laughing. It seems like he doesn't even need to ask. That explains that barely fucking readable message. And that's me saying that. Matuna snickers. He fist bumps you about it, and then proceeds to ramble on about those in general, and then different things that people have done throughout time that have meant basically the same as a gesture.
Aw.
Kanaya walks. What?
That was just me going, aw.
Historical fist bumps.
Historical fist bumps and their many variations. Of course, this is a thing Matuna would care about. What a cutie.
Which I love. Like, hi, this man is autistic about historical fist bumps.
Yeah. You can have your fabrics and everything, but I lay claim to broship throughout the centuries.
Broship. Why is that so funny to me?
I'm master of various types, broship, bro dom, eyebrow wiggle.
Bro, dom, is that when you dominate your friends?
Yeah.
Oh, where the fuck was I?
Kanaya walks in.
Oh, I'm trying not to laugh. God damn it. Kanaya walks in right around the point when he's getting to the time period when she was a young teenager.
Is he explaining all of the cool things to you, Karkat?
She asks with a smile and hangs her coat on the coat rack. Who better to do it? Matuna brags.
Are you down with the kids, Matuna? Do you still have it, whatever it is?
She teases him. Have it? I fucking invented that shit. I am it. Matuna says emphatically.
We need to humor him. He's very old.
Kanaya whispers to you, more than loud enough for Matuna to hear.
Oh, I get it. You're very cool, Matuna.
You say insincerely, making him scowl at you.
On an unrelated note, Mother wanted to know if you were both available this evening.
Kanaya says and looks at you. She takes a moment and straightens out your beloved scarf so it's sitting evenly on your neck and shoulders. Sure, I'll tell her that you're being ageist. That'll go well. Matuna shoots back.
I'm sure it will. You're still much older than her, too.
Kanaya says brightly.
I'd love that.
You smile, and Kanaya smiles back just as warmly.
I will send her a message then. As for today, I should probably show you how the library works. I am still supposed to be working. I know you're essentially off on sick leave, but it'd be a good idea to get some work done. Miss Paint's gracious consideration is only going to stretch so far.
Kanaya explains, and you get that.
Sure, how can I help?
You agree. Kanaya shows you the ins and outs of the job that you already have. Matuna is technically supervising you, but mostly he's complaining about the library's computer system, its network, and the setup of the printer. You don't really understand what his problem with it is, but he sets himself to the task of upgrading and fixing everything that he can. Matuna, the library's personal tech.
Personal tech. You can
And
take
support.
the boys out of the IT jobs, but you can't take the IT out of the boys.
Really can't. Like, hi, here's an ancient fallen angel, and he's getting angry about the printer.
Yeah.
And honestly, what a fucking mood.
What a fucking mood. First thing he did in Solix's apartment was complain about Solix's TV setup.
Which I love. At least he's on brand.
He's so on brand.
And we love that for him.
Mm-hmm.
You think to ask Matuna for his account on Trillian and work out that you already had Kanaya's. You also get your grandmother's one, but Kanaya warns you that she often fails to check it for long stretches of time. Kanaya is interested that you type differently, but Matuna puts it down to muscle memory and goes back to what he was doing. For good measure, you send Celix another message. This one is genuinely, entirely innocent, and you know he'd have opened it thinking otherwise. You get to annoy him in fun and new ways all of the time. After a while, the library stuff becomes a little dull. It's not bad, it's just that after being shown how to do something, it's not all that interesting. You watch Kanaya check some books in. She passes them to you, and you toss them on the cart where they go back to their place. Kanaya looks at you like you just set fire to her desk.
What? I didn't drop anything.
You say,
Hey bud, we're losing parts of you, I think.
"Oh no!" Call me Carcat without your losing parts of me.
God damn it, I still love that one so much.
Okay, want me to hang up and call back?
Yes, I will also hang up so that we can mosey.
Do.
If you can do, Kanaya looks at you.
Can do. Kanaya looks at you like you just set fire to her desk.
What? I didn't drop anything.
You say defensively.
Don't! You just threw the books!
Kanaya hisses at you, shutting the door and making the hissing entirely pointless since the room is silenced.
Onto the cart they go on. That's the right one, isn't it?
You ask, but there aren't any other carts in here, so surely it is the right one.
You do not throw the books. They're precious, and we're supposed to take care of them.
Kanaya snaps. Matuna turns around in his chair and warily looks between the two of you.
They're just books.
You say in confusion. Kanaya looks like she might get the unholy oil out again, and Matuna jumps in the middle between you, one hand on her chest. She's not actually moving to attack you, but she's clearly angry and upset, and you don't like that you caused that.
I didn't... What did I say?
You whisper, afraid of the answer. Okay, will you chill for a second? I told you this happened already. Carcat, tell me why you think she's upset, Matuna says, shifting his attention from Kanaya to you.
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong. They go there, and I got them there. They're fine. I didn't break anything.
You say softly, worried that this family you got is going to fall apart right away. Kanaya starts to say something, but Matuna shushes. The Z's are infectious.
Infectious disease.
Infectious.
You've heard of Tenacious D. Now get ready for Infectious Z.
It's the cover band. Sorry. Kanaya starts to say something, but Matuna shushes her and goes on. What's a book?
It's just a book. What do you mean? It's a book.
You say, not getting what's wrong at all. How? Oh, wait, duh. Matuna snorts and takes his hand off of Kanaya's chest. He flicks it and a book drops into it. A book, he says and passes it to you. Curiously, you open it, but it's a book, like he said. It looks like a weirdly organized book on how to install a printer.
Were you just thinking about printers?
You ask him. It's what I was doing before this. Gimme, Matuna says and hands it to Kanaya. Kanaya holds the book and her face twists a little. She opens it and squints at it and then Matuna.
What is this? I've held books from other planes before. I've held books about Signless that you wrote as we moved around. This isn't a book. It looks like a book. It should be a book. It's not a book.
She says she says suspiciously. Because we just magic that. It's a split second thought. That's how it works on our planes. You can do it the hard way if you really want to, but why would you? Tell them how someone made this, Matuna says, reaching past you and picking a book up off the return card and passing it to Kanaya.
You want me to explain books, real books, and not that thing?
Kanaya asks him dubiously. Matuna gives Kanaya a, yes, no shit, I want you to do the thing I asked kind of look.
Fine, Someone decides that they're going to write a book. They research their subject. I'm going to stick with academic texts for now. Then they plan out what they're going to write.
She begins.
Sets it out better than Matuna's printer guide, you mean?
You asked, trying to joke and make things not feel so bad. Matuna gently bops you on the head with his printer book and then unmakes it with a flick of his fingers, though Kanaya looks a little alarmed by that.
It takes a lot of time and effort to write a book. Planning, writing it, rewriting it. Most of these academic texts took years and years. Some of these books are large parts of people's academic careers. That's just nonfiction. There's just as much care in fiction. People choose a topic that means something to them, and they dedicate themselves to it.
Kanaya explains. Horror steals over you as Kanaya goes on about the difficulty of arranging printers, royalty for book sales, if any. You can hardly hear it over the thrumming in your head.
They give time and thought and passion in limited human lives to make these? If they were angels or demons, these would be people.
You explain in God damn it, I know words.
Do you want to swap?
If you don't mind.
Yeah.
She's like, hi, I'm Jen, I'm 19, and I never learned how to
Gotta
fucking read.
You exclaim in horror and pick up the books that you carelessly tossed. They'd be people. Defenseless people that can't move or do anything. I mean, well, they're not... Well, some of them think and feel things in a more human sense. They're in the dangerous books section, but even those books are... Well, they're not alive, but they're precious. Someone chose to make them, to do that with their lives. It's something that'll exist even after they're dead, she says, clearly a little worried.
This whole building is full of them? I didn't think humans could give up parts of themselves like that. No one told me.
You insist. Damn it.
Did you forget you were narrator?
Yeah, my brain read you insist and said, yeah, you said that out loud. And I said, good job, brain, and we high-fived. I rescinded the high five.
Like, yeah, you totally said that out loud. They don't give it up. They spend time doing it, but someone who's got enough of a hard-on for...
Matuna turns his head to look at one of the books in your arms.
Liminal spaces, they go write a book and it gets published. But they keep that. Humans pour their tiny lives into all kinds of things like that.
Humans barely lived for any time at all. Why would they do that when the thing they make can't?
You don't know how to voice the thought that you have. You have a purpose. You're a throne, but you were made for a purpose. You do something. Even if you were made for a bad reason, you still do something. Yet a human, a possibly now dead human, poured time, thought, knowledge, care, and love into writing out everything they thought about a topic. And nothing happened. It doesn't exist to serve them. It's just exactly what it is. A tiny, fleeting human life loved some topic so much that they etched it down for everyone to see. What?
I'm sorry, but that is exceptionally sweet, and it gets me feeling sentimental about libraries and books in general.
Absolutely.
And it's true.
Library people
Books
eat
are
so well with these
important.
series.
I love how Unda makes you both cry over shit and then also feel romantically about daily things. Like, hi, let me just go hug a book for a second.
Yes. People tell me to hug trees all the time. I got so many books, I hug them every day.
I will hug them every fucking day.
Every fucking day.
Car cat?
Matuna asks worriedly. You should tell him that your chest hurts. He asked you to do that, but you can't. You've been handed knowledge in its physical format. Knowledge so real that if an angel had made it, it would be alive, and even more than that, it'd be loved. You don't know anything. You're supposed to already be perfect and divine and knowledgeable about all that shit, but all at once you get how you still have so much to learn, and you are filled with the need to question.
Holy shit, how many books are there? How long would it take to read them all? Can I?
You ask.
Oh, well,
Kanaya starts.
do they write books about everything? I didn't know any of this stuff. It's all important, isn't it? It has to be important since someone made it, didn't they? Are they all books like this? Do people know about this? Do the books know? Can anyone write a book about anything? Oh, fuck, this whole building is full of living books. What happens if something happens to the building? Is it protected? I should protect it.
You say in a rush. I love him so much.
Well, I love him so much, Your Honor. Okay, can you give those to Kanaya for me?
Matuna asks.
Why?
You ask back.
Because I think you lose your shit if you drop them.
Matuna answers, but that's not good enough. He didn't tell you why.
Why would I drop them? I don't want to drop them. Why would I have to give them to Kanaya? What's she gonna do with them? No offense, I'm not saying you do anything. Obviously, you know more about this than me.
You say, quickly correcting yourself. You need her to teach you everything.
You drop them because I need to see your full form, and you don't have hands like that, so just...
Matuna telekinetically pulls the books from your arms and gives them to Kanaya. He then flicks a hand and the windows go dark and the door locks.
Why do you need to see my full form?
You wonder. Matuna looks frustrated for a second, and you feel it. Way down inside of you, but it's there. An infuriated exasperation, a desire to make you stop asking, like if you could shut your mouth forever, that'd be great.
I need to see your full form because I'm pretty sure something just started working again.
Matuna explains. The fleeting look of frustration is gone, or maybe it was never there, and your mind projected Kankri's reaction onto him.
Sorry.
You apologize quickly.
You didn't do anything. Come on, let me see.
Matuna urges you. You take your scarf off and put it on the desk. Then you shift forms and watch as Matuna appears inside you. Kanaya winces a little and looks away.
I'm not hurting you, am I?
No, the spinning just makes me a little motion sick, especially when I've had something to drink that's not blood. Really, it's fine, Kanaya says, and stares at the wall instead.
We've got movement. One of them is going again, and it was definitely stopped before. I'm pretty sure it's knowledge. You fucking nerd.
Matuna grins and straightens up again, instead of leaning over to peer into your rotating form. You change back into what you were before, and uneasily pick your scarf back up and wrap it all around your neck. You tuck your face into it and tighten it. Shutting your mouth doesn't stop all of the questions building in your throat, running into your mouth and colliding with your teeth.
Hey, are you good?
Matuna asks. Good. That's a question, one that you don't know the answer to. Karkat, you're looking a little pale. Are you all right? Kanaya asks you. You cling a little tighter to the scarf, to the representation of people who chose you and want you to be safe. You shake your head a little.
Yeah. Are you hurt? Is this pain?
Matuna asks worriedly. Did Kankri ever worry about you being hurt? Did he notice? Did he care? Did anyone notice anything about you? Were you always like this? Would you turn this off if you could? Actually, is this pain or not? Is there a way to talk about this? If you could remember everything, would you know how to? Or did you lack the experience of people giving a shit even then? How many times has an angel asked if you were hurt? Are you overwhelmed? I think I would be if something drastic changed about me. Actually, I was when something drastic changed about me. Kanaya says softly and puts the books on the desk so she can get a little closer to you.
I'm sorry.
Matuna says reflexively, like he has every time the subject has come up. Kanaya just shushes him. Are you hurting? Kanaya asks. You shake your head. This isn't like the pain you could feel in your chest before. This is more emotional. You can't stop wondering, thinking, asking, questioning everything, and they hurt to think about. Kankri wanted to get rid of this, didn't he? Overwhelmed, then, Kanaya goes on. That's closer, so you nod. Matuna pulls a chair closer and you sit down. You try to steady yourself, but it's hard. You've not really been questioning anything since you woke up. Obviously, you can ask questions, but it's not like this. You don't know what to do, but when you look at the books that started this, you start to think about it. You don't understand why anything is the way it is, why you feel the way you do, or why anything that's happening is the way it is. You don't know enough about anything, but you can't just ask everything at once. That's impossible, even for you. Maybe you can just start somewhere. You pick up the book about liminal spaces, and now that you're curious enough to listen, you can feel it, the subtle realness that's more animate than an inanimate object should have. Someone had answers and questions about this, and they poured themselves into it out of love. You wish you'd been made like that, but you weren't. Why, though? So it'd be awful if something like this book wasn't read, and you don't know anything, so why not start here? Learn something. You sit, you read, and you learn. What you read gives you more questions, but you come to realize with a terrified kind of joy that there are more books out there with answers in, and more people who know those answers. The book on liminal spaces is good. You start another about the history of magical languages. Sitting and studying feels familiar, but you find that you're enjoying it? Is that the word for it? It's not like this is incredibly gripping or amusing, but it's nice to get answers to questions, even if they're not questions that you'd thought to ask until now. The process of reading calms you down a little from the earlier flood of... Your eyes pause on the page and a thought creeps over you. Well, several of them, actually. There's still so much that you don't know, things that you could be wrong about. How can you possibly know what you're supposed to say and do when you don't know anything? Sure, you know some things, but in the scope of all things that you could possibly know about, but in the scope of all the things that you could possibly know, the amount that you do is a rounding error that leads to 0. Thinking about that feels like you're on a terrifying ledge that you could fall off of at any second. What if this isn't what you're meant to be doing? What if what you're doing right now is making you worse, is making things worse for everyone? Well, it might be. You don't know. How are you supposed to know? Are the sources that you have even right? Was it always like this? You look inwards for a moment, searching for Kankri. You have so many questions for him, and you need answers. Kankri is right where you left him, sitting on the ground with the projection of the book that you're staring at, playing up against the far wall. He looks you over when you touch the rings surrounding his area. He seems judgmental and annoyed. Why do I feel like this? You ask.
Because it's part of what you're made of. You question everything.
He sighs. Well, don't you do that? You wonder.
I can physically ask questions, obviously. I just got rid of that ever-present nagging doubt about everything. I couldn't get anything done with it there. Constantly second-guessing myself at every opportunity. It was incredibly unproductive.
He says, and waves a hand at the now spinning ring above you both. As soon as you notice it, it starts talking in your voice. Why did he get rid of this? Didn't it do something? Could he learn without it? Or if he couldn't, then is it better not to learn in heaven? That seems counterintuitive. Why would that be the case? What if I shouldn't be like this? Will it get worse or better? What would that look like? Am I different now than I was before? Well, I must be, but how much? Is that going to change? What if it doesn't? What if I'm wrong about everything? What if everyone knows? What if they don't? Should I tell them? Should I? Oh no, what if they find out about Kankri? Will they take him away? But I want answers, and I need his memories, right? You feel afraid. Afraid of everything you don't know. There's no certainty here anymore.
Not again.
Kankri says miserably. Does it stop? I don't like this. You ask him worriedly. What if it doesn't stop? It probably doesn't if Kankri took it out. That was the reason, right? Did you find a way to deal with this on your own without him? It probably wasn't a good way. Matuna sort of implied that you'd have fallen eventually if you weren't connected to him and Signless. Does that hurt? It looks like it really hurts, but how much? Is that gonna happen to me now? Oh, fuck. Is it?
I don't like it either. It doesn't stop. Sometimes it's less, but it never goes away. Not unless you make it.
Kankri says and rubs at his temples. How do you make it? You trail off. You rip it out of you and make it into a whole new person. You must have known what it would be like. You must have asked yourself. You accuse him and point at the ring of endless fucking questions. So he knew and did it anyways? So what then? Did he just not care? Did it not matter as long as it wasn't your problem anymore, Kankri? Did no one else have any thoughts about this? Isn't that a cruel thing to do to someone, Kankri?
Shut up!
Kankri orders, but, of course, it doesn't change anything. Do you think your god saw you, Kankri? What do you think she thought of that?
Stop it!
He hisses, covering his ears. You didn't question what you were doing after you made me, did you? You took out the bit that did that, you whisper as you realize. I don't think that worked out how you wanted to, did it? I've got so many questions for you, Kankri. You watch as the now spinning ring looks angrily at Kankri. Kankri clearly hates it, but you don't know how you feel now. Its eyes shift to you, and you know that you're just talking to yourself, but shouldn't you understand yourself? You look at Kankri and how he cringes away from every question that comes from this part of you, a part that used to be in him. But I want to, you say, a little nervously. What if you don't like what you are? Well, Kankri didn't, did he? You say, and you realize you answered a question with a question. This part of you doesn't know anything that you don't, but you're getting the impression that Kankri wasn't a huge fan of Kankri. You don't think that a person who likes themselves goes and rips out their heart, shoves a bunch of things in there that they don't like, and then names it cancer. Like, that's fucked up, actually. Well, I'm not doing what he did, you say finally. What then? If it's too much, you ask it, you. Yes, what if this part of you, or all of you, is too much for you, for anyone? Then I live with that. Or I don't, I change. Why do you exist? You ask it, wanting to ask the questions for once. Questions that get answers, not just rhetorical ones, or you thinking aloud. I don't know. I must have been made as part of Kankri, so she must have put me here. But why?
I'm not listening to this again.
Kankri insists, his hands clamped over his ears. I didn't work so well without you, so I'm supposed to have this. I must have always had this, you say slowly as the idea pieces together.
It looks like I was driving him mad before, wasn't I? Did I do that to you too? Did you go mad? You were involved with a demon and the Antichrist. That's not what an angel is supposed to do, is it?
If past me always had you, then this whole thing, then it probably was what I was supposed to be doing. I would have been asking the whole time if I was right, if what I was doing was a good idea, right? You say faster now as the idea takes shape.
I think so. That's so many things to ask.
And it never stops. You can't do anything with it screaming about every little thing all of the time.
Cankry snaps. But it's not loud. Not now that you're talking to it.
You're me. You're a core part of me. I questioned things, and you probably kept me safe, didn't you?
You say in awe.
Oh, probably. What would you have needed to... Oh, how do you get around something Cankry ordered you to do? How do you get out of heaven to see people on Earth? What are demons like? How do you talk to them? Can anyone in heaven see what you're doing when you're down here? Would anyone be looking?
Your face breaks into a smile. This is you! You don't think you always liked it, but this part of you got you to where you were. It asked questions that kept you safe. This isn't something to rip out and live without. You need it. You don't know anything, but that was true before. Now you have this driving you to ask questions that'll get you answers. There's a whole multiplanar system out there, and you're going to question every single inch of it. Because if you do that, then you get to learn. You get to know what's true. And that's got to be better than thinking that you do.
What if you can't take it, though? What if you are too much?
Is that the cost for knowing things?
Or are you only painful when you're ignored?
You wonder.
I don't know.
I want to know, you say softly, and the rings spin faster and faster still, happily almost. This isn't the same panicked stream of questions and fear that got you here. This isn't the discomfort that drove you here to ask Cankry for help. Maybe it doesn't hurt so much when you're not fighting yourself all the time. You remember how Cankry felt before. You know how he ignored you.
I think you might just be really bad at this,
you tell Cankry brightly. The look he gives you makes you very glad that he's in there and you're out here. Well, whatever. He can spend his time in there near the part of you that he tore out. That'll be fun for him. You have a book to finish, and you want to know what else it says. It's so easy to get back to reading. Now that you're not trying to drown out every question and thought that you have, it's easier to just be curious. You magic yourself up a notebook, and instead of distracting yourself from reading, you write down every question or thing that you want to look up, you keep it there, and continue reading what you have. After all, the answers might be later on in the book, and if they're not, then you can look them up somewhere else later, or ask someone. When Kanaya nudges you, saying that you need to leave, you can't help but feel disheartened. You want to read more. Well, of course you want to see your family, but you want both. You hold the little book in your hand sadly, but you suppose you'll come back for it the next time that you're here. You can check the book out if you want, Carcat. You can do that. You're a staff member and a student here. You can also check them out. It's not just the people that come up to the office, Kanaya tells you, and somehow that hadn't connected. She'd shown you how to check books in, but you hadn't realized that you could also borrow books.
How many can I take?
You ask her, breathless with excitement.
Is there anything he shouldn't take out?
Matuna asks, and Kanaya taps on the computer keyboard. Anything in the restricted section on the floor below, or anything too magically charged, perhaps. I'll check anything he brings back, but maybe if you... Kanaya starts.
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Matuna nods.
I want this one. How many others?
You ask, bouncing a little on the spot as you put the book on liminal spaces down on the desk. You can check out 20 more, but that's all you need to hear from her. You're out of the door and sprinting to the directory signs.
He makes me so so happy.
So happy. I'm sorry we're ending season 1 on like the middle of a chapter, but in my defense, ain't this a cute spot to end it? Ain't this just the cutest?
Also, like, it kind of reminds me of when I had a concussion and I wasn't supposed to be reading, but I read 12 books in a month anyway. Because,
you-
like, yes, he's pan damaged and just like books.
Books. You know what this
Books.
situation needs? What every situation needs. More books.
More books.
Shout out to the people
my
in Discord who are able to like bookbind and make Kunda's books real. That shit is so sick.
Right? Like, fuck, man. If I could own like physical copies of Unda's works, it would just like live in a cozy little nook in my room. Like, he just lives there now, Your Honor.
Yeah. It can be one of the books that we hug each day.
Book hugs, book hugs, book hugs.
There's another person who's gonna do cool things. A Your Words Destroyed My Planet read. I will put links to wherever they're doing that once they start getting up and running. I think that's happening late this month, if I remember correctly. So you can also please just join the Goose server. There's people there. We talk about shit. It's great. Links in the description, and the links to the thing to the read will be in the description too when it happens.
Yes. And sometimes Unda draws the goofy shit that we say.
Yes.
I'm still not over the Hope Hope.
Hope Hope was so good.
Hope Hope. Didn't they also doodle the Squirrel Heaven now? Carcat, we can't keep fucking doing this.
They did. That's a fun thing for y'all to look forward to as well eventually. That's one that we'll like record properly and I'll do editing on. We've made a version of of Shrimp Heaven for this story. It's great.
Squirrel Heaven now.
Please, Carcat, we can't keep doing this.
It makes me giggle.
The giggles.
Giggle.
Doesn't make any sense. Why is there animal suffering? Where do squirrels go when they die? Squirrel Heaven! Squirrel Heaven!
Squirrel Heaven.
These are good stories. You can tell. We get the daws. We get the weeps. We get the giggles. they got it all, folks.
It's like, yes. Us reading Underworks. Maybe a little bit of crying, a whole lot of laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Just pointing and going, heh, gay.
Gay.
But hey, it's very pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah. Gay as
Gay,
compliment.
same hat. Gay, affectionate.
Affectionate.
Wonderful. My goodness.
Okay,
but
everyone.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for joining us. Hope you all have great days. Take care of yourselves. Don't have insomnia. It sucks.
Insomnia sucks ass.
So much ass. Ew, that's a terrible thought, actually. Sorry, so there have been a lot of jokes recently about, like, fuck that guy. Please don't. Please don't. That guy sucks. Don't fuck that guy. So my brain's back in literal mode, and boy, has it been rough. Just like stuttering on every metaphor, like, what are you? Oh, right.
What do you mean?
Yeah, everybody take care. Goodbye. We got to do long goodbyes because it cuts us off sometimes. So I'm going to keep saying goodbye I'm going to say like 12 goodbyes. I'll